show is about to begin. Enjoy.
Michael O'Grady, I Creativi.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us now on part 2 of Michael O'Grady and the Creatives, my guest today for this episode is Kev O'Brien. He's the lead singer and songwriter and guitarist of the band Mechanical Roots. He is originally from Fairfield, Connecticut, lives in Los Angeles. They have a new single out called Broken Record. Get a chance, check it out. Go on YouTube, go on Spotify. Everything. Go on everything. Like it, write comments, be like, oh my God, I love it. All that stuff and everything.
Or, oh my God, I hate it.
Or
it
that
sucks.
too, yeah.
Tell me why you hate it.
Yeah, there's no such thing as bad publicity. And we're going to continue on the second part of this episode because we had to take a quick little bathroom break.
Boom.
Because that's what happens when you break the seal. It's just like when you go out to a bar or whatever like that. I mean, I'm drinking water right now, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what we do, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Get geared up, ready for this. This is kind of like, this is the best we can do with having a show right now in the COVID-19 because we can't go out and fucking play live.
I know.
And this is like kind of like what we're in right now.
My girlfriend was talking about this the other day. She was talking to her friend who's her boyfriend's dad is the basis for Bad Religion.
No shit.
And then her dad managed the Used.
Wow.
And found the Used. So
your girlfriend's dad?
No. I wish. Shit. We'd be having this in a palace or something right now. No, my girlfriend's friend, she's a model.
Oh, okay.
My girlfriend's a photographer. So
right, okay, got
shout out to Alex Gomez, AG_images on Instagram.
Follow, like, all that stuff.
Do it.
Yeah.
So her friend Davia, her she's pretty well connected out here. She's in Orange County, and so we were talking. What were we talking about?
I don't know. We left off somewhere on the part 1. Don't worry about it. Continue it. So we were talking about. Fuck, what were we talking about? This is what happens. This is my bad memory right here.
What were we just talking about?
We were talking about the band. We were talking about your band and getting everything started and going on with the single in Brazil. That's where I think we left off.
Okay.
We left off with Brazil. Because
sure.
You somehow hit a pocket with that.
Fucking
and the
Brazil.
following from Brazil.
Yeah.
And your drummer is from Brazil?
Yeah, she's from Brazil.
Right.
Born
and that was just by
raised.
coincidence, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it kind of worked out. So she's our kind of like our translator for everything because I don't speak Portuguese at all. But,
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But it's cool, man. It's funny how the internet like takes you on these different paths that you never thought you would ever go on. And I one day hoped that we'd be worldwide, like, yeah, Mechanical Roots, or
right.
No matter what band I played in, I was always hoping for that. But it's the internet. There's so many loopholes you can use as a musician. Instagram is one of them, but it's how you work Instagram too.
Right.
I'm sure you know you're doing pretty well on Instagram and
doing okay.
Yeah. But it's like the hashtags you use. There's this one technique for all you listeners out there.
Ooh.
One technique.
I need to hear this.
Before you post, go back to the last post. Like all the posts, all the comments that people commented, them, and then post. So then the comments that you just liked, it'll be relevant on their Instagram feed. So you want to do that.
What if you've already liked them?
Unlike them and like them again.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's a good trick for all you guys out there. That's a good one.
Also, if you have a band or if you're working in a band or whatever, use your personal Instagram to comment on that. Even though a lot of the time it sounds like you're talking to yourself. But the more basically Instagram's algorithm, from what I heard, works is if you keep people on Instagram, you'll do better on Instagram. So when you post stories, if you keep interactions, so don't just post a picture, post like questions or, make people interact with you and stuff like that.
Make them do something. Yeah. Have you heard of, I can't remember who it was, but people have gotten busted for liking and commenting on fake profiles.
Oh yeah, it's so lame.
And they're like,
So lame.
this person is so cool. And then they realize that people, like, they fuck up because they either log into the wrong account or whatever like that, because they do shit like that where they make, like, ghost profiles.
Yeah.
And they comment and like just so that people can get, like, a status. And then, like, they
Stupid.
fuck up because they can see, like, you know, like, if you were to be like Kev O'Brien on Mechanical Roots, like, this band is so awesome, people would be like, what are you doing?
Sometimes I do comment that. I'll be like, yo, this song rips. And exclamation point. It sounds like spam, but I'm actually like stoked on it, you know? Like, sometimes I'm like, dude, I'm not a fake profile.
Maybe you should just address, hey, I'm in this band.
Yeah.
And I like it, so I'm commenting on it, so people don't think like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?"
No, but like, if let's say for instance you posted like I mean, the dude, your fucking Led Zeppelin Heartbreaker solo you just did. I gotta ask, is that? I know the majority of it is like what he was doing
Verbatim?
Yeah.
No.
The whole you were kind of doing your own thing.
A little
to it.
bit. A
Okay.
little bit.
I was gonna say like, how the this? You know, one thing I love about your playing, dude. I'll be honest. Is that you're very good at doing it to the T. You're very good at covering a guitar player. Like, you could just say, yep, I can play that to the T, and it's going to happen.
Oh, thank you, man. No, I appreciate that.
It's not an easy thing to do.
No, and it's not, and it's weird.
No matter how skilled you are.
No, it's funny that you bring. No, thank you. I appreciate that. No, thank you, because that's the thing that makes me kind of, like, sweat the most when I'm doing something, if I'm going to post up something, because I feel all the heat of guitar players and creative people and whatever, because so when I did the Heartbreaker solo that I just posted on Instagram,
check it out, it's rad.
Thank you. I was like, there's a part of me that goes, man, the technical side of things, that there are some people who will see it and go, that's not exactly how it is. And then there's some people who will see it and go, that's exactly how it is, but you really don't know that of what I'm embellishing on and what I'm doing a little bit different. Mm-hmm. Because when you learn like a song like that, or you learn a solo like that, there are some spots in it where you're like, am I really going to spend the time to get it exactly down as he did? Like certain spots of it.
Right.
And I was worried about posting it because, to be honest with you, disclaimer, it's not the exact... It's not verbatim.
But what I think you did a great job in is like you didn't go from Jimmy Page to John Petrucci. You kept it Jimmy Page style.
I keep it the vibe.
You keep it the vibe.
I try to keep it the vibe.
Like it's almost like you're watching it as if Jimmy Page would do that.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I can totally hear
Well,
Jimmy
and the
Page
thing that
doing
helps with that is that if you watch him play it live in the days of the 70s and the late 60s, it's not verbatim of that solo take that you hear in the original recording. Because I think when they capture those recordings, they captured that one take. And that's what came out.
And that's what's cool about it. It's raw as fuck. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's a little sloppy. It's a little all over the place. So I find those little key points, like when that solo starts and I go, you know, I got to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you do those for non-musical people out there and non-guitar players, there are sometimes where the guitar player will go into like a run. And if you don't get it verbatim, I think that's okay, because I think everybody just has their own style,
right,
and whatever. Because it's like, the thing about it is, you can do what you do verbatim all the time, because it's how your fingers touch the fretboard, it's how you attack it, and whatever. Yeah. So you will play those same patterns over and over and over and over again without even thinking about it. So when I go in to do something like Heartbreaker, I was like, I really love this solo. I love trying to get it down. There's little parts of it that are like key licks that you're like, you have to play that lick.
For sure.
And then there's parts where you're like, well, it's close. It's close enough. It's close enough to where if you listen to it at first glance or first ear glance, you're like, oh yeah, that's the solo.
Yep.
And that's kind of like what I did with it. So thank you. No, I appreciate that. That's a nice compliment. Thank you. Yeah. And I sweat over that shit all the time. I've done solos of like, I love guitar solos where it's either like Slash from Slither or ZZ Top. That one I did verbatim. I tried to get it as verbatim as possible because you know there's going to be people out there who are like, that's not it.
right.
Actually, always. And then I think about the tone And I know it's that very fine, small percentage of an audience who's like, dude, you got the tone. And the thing about that is, the funny thing about tone is who you are as a musician, who you are as a player, who you are as an artist. That's where the tone comes from. That's it.
For sure.
That's how it is. You can get all the amps, you can get all the pedal boards, you can get all the guitars, you can get all the master classes, whatever the fuck it is. But at the end of the day, John Mayer sounds like John Mayer because he's John Mayer. You can give him a Toys R Us guitar, and he'll still fucking rip it.
That's how you work your fingers.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, and it's like, and that's, I do kind of try to emulate the tone or that vibe. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like how we grew up playing music or playing guitar. Like how you play guitar, like what I've seen with like Mechanical Roots. I saw it's a live video from Lucky Strike, and you just you bust into like a solo. It's fucking great. He picks up the guitar. He's like he's like fucking Slash, and it's fucking flawless, and it's fucking perfect. And I'm like, oh, this guy's like a guitar player, and I'm a guitar player, but I'm not watching it with this critical eye of like, oh, yeah, he kind of did a minor 7 flat third technique right there.
Kind of goofed a note. But
Yeah, it's kind of, I always go back to the old analogy, like when musicians get into that, I'm like, if we're at a bar or we're out and about, I'm like, you guys know there are girls here, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about this for?
Right.
Like, as long as it's fucking cool and you're having fun with it and that kind of a type of thing.
It's annoying that Slash kind of trademarked that because that's such a fun way to play
Oh, it's
guitar
great.
on stage.
You know what's hard
Fucking
that I
that.
love to try to do? I'll show you real quick. Is like the thing I like to try to do is not only coming up with the guitar right here, but he tucks it in.
Oh, yeah. Like on his gut or something.
Yeah, it's like in his arm. He's holding it like a baby. Like he has to hold it.
Mind you, it's a Les Paul. That
And it's a
fucker's
heavy guitar, and he's ripping it, going like, and granted, he plays low, I play low. That's where I learned how to play low. I was like, I got to play low like that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But yeah, he kind of tucks it up in this pocket,
Nice.
and you do that, and I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. But that's hard sometimes on stage.
It's tough, dude. Yeah.
It's hard.
Especially if you're sweating, the thing is slipping.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
like, dude, that's a fucking style that you're just like, that's Slash.
Slash.
Yeah.
Yeah. He perfected it.
I thought that guy was like 11 feet tall when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I thought that guy was like, I thought there was nobody like him. Like, I know you said you grew up with like the Scorpions or whatever like that, but
Well, all that kind of music.
all
but
that,
yeah,
the hair,
yeah.
but it's an iconic image. And I
Right,
just thought
right.
those people were like ridiculously larger than life, even though you find out that Slash is like 5'10", he's like my height.
Yeah.
And
I
Duff
can snuff that dude.
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
guy.
Like and like Duff McKagan's like 6'4", but like they just look larger than life. They just
Right.
have an attitude. They have a whole thing. They know how to play the instrument that they're playing and make it like look larger than life, badass, whatever like that. And when you look at those kind of bands and you just kind of go, oh, I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to capture that essence,
Right.
or
For
whatever.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because, I mean, well, when you're on stage, too, or when you're playing live, like, I've had performances where I've made 1,000 mistakes, and in my head, I'm going, fuck.
I know.
And then I watch the footage, and I'm like, oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
I
fine.
got by with that.
Yeah.
Was it B.B. King that said, it's not the sour note you make, it's the next note that is the big mistake? Who was that? Was that B.B. King?
It could have been B.B. King. That
Yeah.
sounds like a B.B. The one thing I know is Miles Davis is, it's not that you can play, anybody can play. It's, I think the quote is, any motherfucker can play. It's how you play a note.
Oh, for sure.
Something like that.
Yep.
It's not just like, yeah, anybody can play.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can be technical. Anybody can do that. But it's kind of like, I think what people feel with the emotion that comes behind it, if you believe what you're doing, other people will believe it.
Yeah.
That's why I never gravitated towards technical music or technical guitar playing. I mean, guys like Paul Gilbert, Steve Vai, to name a few, whatever, that all shit is cool and it's impressive as fuck. Joe Satriani, just to name a few. And
I'm not a big fan of Joe Satriani.
yeah, I mean, like it's it's a very particular type of taste.
Right,
Of
for sure.
what I think is in
Yeah.
your brain.
For sure. I agree.
For me, I fell in love with the attitude first,
Mm-hmm.
the image of it and all that stuff. And when I think about where I grew up listening to AC/DC. And as a guitar player now, when I think about AC/DC and I watch some of their performances and I think about the experiences I've had in LA with technical musicians, proficient musicians who are polished to a T, and I look at bands like that, or I look at Guns N' Roses, or I look at the Foo Fighters, or whatever, and I go, it's not technically great, but that's what makes it great.
Yeah.
That's what makes it amazing, is those mistakes, that human element of
100%.
them. And I grew up with that punk rock, like Greendale, like you hit the guitar as hard as you can, and they're not considered. I mean, I don't know. That's a weird thing. That's what I don't know.
It's one thing, like, especially for if you're not singing, right? If you're not the singer, you have to tell a story through your instrument.
Right.
And yeah, you can have like animals as leaders. You can have intervals or Pliny. Those guys, super shreddy guys. There's I don't think I've ever listened to their music and have felt like it had made me feel something.
It didn't
or
give you
bring
that.
or bring like a past
Yeah.
memory. I've never been on a drive and have been like thinking about something that, was really impacted me in my life. Listen to that. I just listen to that and I'm like, fuck, that's some complicated shit.
Yeah.
But when you listen to like a really raw player, like all the bands you listed before, when you make the guitar sing for you,
Right.
it's totally different. And I think that's what you and I kind of like go hand in hand with. We kind of strive with. I'm not a technical player by any means. Not trying to be the next fucking John Petrucci. Although it'd be nice.
That'd be cool.
Be
Yeah.
fucking cool. That dude's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like my goal is I want to not only sing you how I feel,
Right.
I want to play you how I feel.
Yeah.
I want you to listen to my guitar playing and say, fuck, I feel that guy.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah. Because not everybody's an analytic going like, oh, that's a little off key, or that's a little this, or that's not too, it's not clean.
Yeah.
And you're just like, so?
Keep it raw,
Who
man.
gives a
Keep it
fuck?
raw. I didn't get into this to fucking,
No.
to like,
Right.
play every note on exactly on point to be
Right.
analyzed. I want to make myself, which is most importantly, if you're a musician, you got to put yourself first and
Right.
then vibe with what people are feeling. But
Right.
that's my goal with it. When I'm playing on stage, if I fuck up a solo, it's because I fucking fucked up a solo.
Yeah.
I did, you know what I mean? I'm not embarrassed about it. I'm not
Yeah.
judging myself for it, but that was how I felt in the moment. That's what you get.
I think a lot of those things too is that when we think about music as being a musician, we get too caught up in the technical things of like, because we're playing in front of peers in Los Angeles, that's what fucks with your head.
For sure. Because you got to play good.
You do.
You got to play
And
good.
people are very analytical. So that's what kind of makes it tough. I've seen performances that will remind me all the time, oh, it's not about being perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about that.
Right.
It's about that story you're telling.
Right.
I think B.B. King said something about that with soloing. When you solo, and I teach this to kids all the time, when you go to play a guitar solo, it almost should be like a sentence. The analogy I use is, again, it doesn't need to be perfect, but what it needs to be is, I don't just come up to you and go, hey, Kev, milk, eggs, bread, road, Melrose Avenue, California, United States, da-da-da. I don't just say fucking words.
Yeah.
Or big important words. I say, hey, I woke up this morning, I went to the grocery store, and I bought some bread and eggs and milk. I went home, I played guitar, I went out shopping on Melrose. It's a sentence and stuff like that.
sure.
And that's the kind of thing I think about with like guitar playing.
Yeah.
It should fucking make sense.
For sure.
And a lot of those things that I think with the guitar players that influence us is whatever band it is, it's a lot of great solos have such a great cadence and such a great rhythm to it, to where if you take that solo out, you lose the song. You're like, I'm missing a melody here.
Right.
/ Angus Young, the guys from Scorpions. It's part of
Sinister Gates.
Especially. He's an example of, he knows how to write a part, and be super fucking technically great, and you're like, how the fuck do you play like that?
I know, dude.
Everybody's gone through that Sinister Gates, like, I will play like him. I will try to be as good as him, and you're like, have you ever seen that footage of Miles Mosley recording upright bass for Afterlife?
Oh, and he's like screaming like, oh, fuck.
He's in the studio, and he hears the solo.
Yeah.
He drops for, I think it's Afterlife.
Yeah. He's
and
like,
he just
that's
like,
a guitar solo.
He's like, what the fuck was that? Like, he's like, whoa. Yeah, like, well, the first time I saw that, you're just like, I mean, dude, there's nobody who can touch that.
He finds
guy.
a line that's shreddy and tasty.
Have you seen him live?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I've only seen him once.
When'd you see him?
Unfortunately, I saw them when they Bullet for My Valentine.
I saw them.
And then they opened for Avenged Sevenfold. This was in Massachusetts. Shit, I want to say 2013.
No shit.
So the Rev had already passed. They were using
that's horrible,
the next guy.
Did they get no? But they had Portnoy for the record.
Yeah, it was after that.
Oh, the guy they have now.
No, before him.
Wait, they had another guy.
Fuck, it was after Portnoy, which
I can't think of the guy's name that plays with him now. But I thought he
Aaron something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Aaron something.
Got it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's not in the band anymore.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, he did a good job. He played on the record with Shepherd Fire, that song Hail to the King.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he played on Hail to the King.
Okay.
And
that's a tough position to fill. The Rev.
Oh, dude. Fucking phenomenal.
And a key songwriter, for that matter.
Yep.
That's a tough position.
Phenomenal.
To fill. Yeah.
They're still killing it. One of my favorite bands. I'll be honest. Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh, yeah.
They get so much heat. But
do they?
Yeah.
What kind of heat do they get?
They get like they're a shitty band.
They have
they're like the Nickelback of metal sometimes.
Kind of a little. I can see that. I can see that. Well, the thing is, I went to MI and I was talking about this somebody on the last podcast. Like, if you had a Sinister Gates guitar, we did not take you seriously. If you bought that signature guitar,
but then again, it's just a guitar.
You know what I always thought of them as? They were Guns N' Roses on steroids.
More musical for sure.
Like Iron Maiden.
Yeah, very much.
Okay, so it's like you took Iron Maiden, Guns N' Roses,
and boom.
That's what it is.
Fucking Avenged Sevenfold.
That's what I thought of Avenged Sevenfold.
A little bit of Metallica too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. If those three bands fucked, you would have Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah, if Metallica, Iron Maiden, and Guns N' Roses had, because it's Guns N' Roses was with the attitude of the image. They're Sinister Gates, M Shadows. They have like those nicknames.
It's fucking nicknames.
The music is like dun, 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 like Iron Maiden. Yep. It's like they're singing about like the city of evil, like it's that. And then Metallica was like dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
Yeah, that's perfect three bands.
Boom.
That's how we got Avenged Sevenfold.
Yep.
Yeah,
for sure. I agree.
They do get a lot of shit.
They do get a lot of shit, and it's unfortunate because they're phenomenal musicians.
They are. Yeah.
Fucking Matt Shadows, phenomenal singer.
He
that
is.
Dude is unreal at singing.
He is.
And dude, as a singer, I don't know about any singers listening now, but like stamina is so tough when you're singing rock music, and when you're singing for, even if it's just an hour. Sometimes I feel like a lot of the times I'm playing live, I'll run out of gas, and I'm like, your voice will crack, and I'm like, fuck, man, what am I doing wrong? You know what I mean? Like,
how do you keep that going?
Exactly.
Right.
How do you keep that going? If you're a singer, comment that shit because
Yes.
I want to know. I want to know what's your trick to keep that going. But honestly, dude, like you gotta appreciate. Yeah, they're totally big, fucking famous band, but you gotta appreciate what they did.
Oh yeah,
they started just like anybody else.
I think one of my favorite songs by them is "A Little Piece of Heaven."
Love it.
Phenomenal. And the Rev wrote that. The whole thing.
Yeah, and if you're
when you're a kid and you're growing up with because we're like the same age and like you grew up playing guitar, the first time you hear backcountry, you're just like, what the fuck?
Or Beast in the Harlot, dude.
Yeah.
So musical.
Yeah.
So
it's just
musical.
Badass.
It's badass.
Yeah, it's just bad. They're just badass musicians. Exactly.
I feel like you'll listen to Guns N' Roses when you first start playing, and then you hear them, and you're like, oh, okay, so that's the next step.
That's why I say Guns N' Roses on steroids.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And now Sinister Gates and his father do like a master class where they're like teaching lessons.
Because everybody forgets that because he Brian Gates is his name. That's Sinister Gates.
Yeah.
And his dad, I think, is Brian Gates Sr.
I don't think the last name's Gates. It's
Warner.
Something. Yeah,
I think
forget.
It's Warner.
Yeah.
Is it Brian Warner?
Brian.
No, it's not Gates. You're right. You're absolutely right.
I don't know what it is.
But his dad was a part of, I think he recorded guitar on Car Wash.
Yeah.
At the car wash. I swear, I think it's Warner. I want to say it's Warner, but yeah.
I forget.
Yeah, they do like a master class now.
Yeah.
And everything. That's fucking.
It's cool, man. Imagine just jam with your dad.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll play
Dude,
live shows together.
Jay Weinberg, Max Weinberg's kid, played drums for Slipknot. Or
Nice.
still plays drums for
Yeah,
Slipknot.
he's the new drummer.
Yeah.
Apparently. Yeah.
One of my favorite shows I've ever seen.
Dude, I cannot wait. I've met Corey Taylor.
You met him?
I met him.
No shit.
Short. He's the man. He's super short. Did not expect him to be short. He's a skinny motherfucker, but his neck is like a trunk of a tree, dude. Looks like a great white shark. But yeah, cannot wait to see them live.
You haven't seen him live?
No, dude.
Okay. I've seen a lot of shows live. Like I'm sure a lot of you have, and you have. When I think about the best show I've ever seen live, top 3,
Ooh.
Slipknot.
Damn. I'm sure it is.
Slipknot.
Because
Here's the thing. I was in the nosebleeds. You know what San Bernardino is?
Yeah.
Okay, they did like Mayhem Fest and all that shit.
Yeah.
I saw Slipknot in 2012, and I had to wait till night because they're the headliner, and I had to sit through all day with all that shit. You're spending money on like $12 bottles of water, like whatever, the whole 9 yards, and it's horrible. But I went to go see Slipknot. I'm not a huge metal guy. I get in the mood for it every now and then. I have a little bit of it in me. But one of my favorite shows was Slipknot. And the reason why is because, I mean, now they're at the point where they are a metal band who wrote hit songs. Let's just face it.
For sure.
They just fucking wrote great songs. Corey Taylor is one of the greatest songwriters of all time and one of the
Yeah.
greatest frontman of all time. I don't know if he gets enough credit for this, but the thing is like I'm in the back lawn all the way in the distance. Can't fucking see shit. Like you're just like, I think that ant is like, you know what I mean? And they just threw down a show. They throw down a show that it's just so bananas, like memorizing. It just sucks you in. And again, I'm like 100 yards away or more than 100 yards away, and I'm watching the show, and I feel like I'm right in front.
Yeah. They do an incredible job.
They do an incredible job. He does an incredible job. It's the most fun you'll ever have at a show.
They are the Dale Earnhardt of performing. For sure.
They are.
They're the Michael Phelps of performing,
yes,
dude.
They it's a show.
Yeah.
And I mean that's what it is. It's they give you this whole theatrical. The Avenged Sevenfold does that. I love bands that do that.
I think every band should do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pink Floyd, I think, is one of those bands like they wouldn't be Pink Floyd without that live show.
They're kind of the grandfathers who started that shit.
Right.
To
Dude,
gave everybody go, oh, we should make this a thing.
the whole point of obviously when you can like afford it and do some things, even at a local level, still, the whole point is to go out there and hope that the audience they just worked a 9 to 5, some bullshit fucking thing. They got some shitty thing going on. My goal per se is when I'm step up on that stage, my goal is to make you forget about everything that you do, and the only thing that matters is you and me.
Yeah.
And this fucking guitar. So that should be the goal of every musician. You are, as much as like you take pride in being, I'm an artist, like this, that, like I don't care what people think, blah blah blah. That's fine. But at the end of the day, you got to perform.
Right.
You are there to entertain.
Somebody who gave me a great piece of advice on this is exactly what you're saying, is that people go to shows to get away from their problems, not see you have yours.
Right.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what we were talking about. If you can make people kind of forget about that for a moment, forget about the parking, forget about the show, forget about the money that it costs.
Forget about the argument they just had with their significant other or the job they just lost.
Right.
You know?
And it's a hard thing to do that sometimes.
For sure.
Because we're human beings.
Exactly.
Especially if it's like, let me ask you this. Because we were talking about this before. I was asking you about like, what is probably, and you can go whichever way you want to go with this, but what is like either the shittiest gig story you have or the craziest? Good or bad? If you got one that sticks out that you're like, fuck, I can't believe. Because we all go through those growing pains of, I fucking did this.
People would like to hear the shittier one.
I want to hear the shitty one.
The shittier one.
You can talk about the greatest thing ever, too. But still, I want to, what's...
The shittiest gig I ever had, I was my old band, Disable Time, This is back in the East Coast before I moved to California. And we were playing a festival. Now, the promoter said 1,000 people would be there. Cool. I'm expecting 1,000 fucking people to be there. We get there, have all our gear, everything to the T. My drummer, Brian, he had he's got like a 9-piece drum set. And I brought my Marshall fucking half stack. I don't have it anymore. I miss it dearly. But I brought that. My bassist, Tommy Greenwood, he brought this fucking big ass MPEG and not MPEG. It was what's the other one? Galleon Kruger.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Huge fucking thing. We like came prepared for 1,000 people, dude. We get there and there's like 10 people, straight up. And the stage, mind you, like this guy was like, "Oh, it's gonna be a great stage." He's like, it's fucking. We got all these lights. We got sound engineers. It's gonna be awesome. You guys are gonna love it. We're like, sick. This is it. We did it. We fucking did it. I'm fucking 21 years old playing a big ass festival stage, dude. We get there and it's a total shit show. We're playing in between like two big ass rocks. The stage is literally 2x4s with plywood. And the guy's like, yeah, the sound people canceled some last minute thing. So I'm doing sound. I'm like, fuck, man. We had a 2-hour set planned. 2 hours. We played to 10 people in and out of the festival. Right?
Oh my God.
That's not even the worst part. We get done playing. We're packing all our stuff up. Some asshole brings his pit bull. And he's like giving people a hard time. He's drunk as shit. He's not an asshole for bringing his pit bull. He's an asshole for what he's about to do with his pit bull. Love pit bulls. Love dogs. Got a German Shepherd. But so there's another person with their dog. It's this big ass field. Mind you, there's like maybe 50 people there now. It's like 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock at night?
Yeah, 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, we got done playing our 2-hour set to 10 people. Promised 1,000. Anyway,
it's like name dropping with people. Where
exactly.
They're like, there's going to be so many people here. Be ready. They're selling it so that you go and do the gig. Yeah.
And mind you, we were supposed to take a cut of this fucking ticket sales.
Oh, from the 1,000 people.
From the 1,000 people. Yeah, we're expecting some decent cash. At least, $500 or something like that.
Right.
But anyway, so this guy's walking around with this pit bull, and there's another person with her, like, tiny little Shih Tzu dog, and the pit bull is going nuts over. He's, like, getting a little crazy with it.
Okay,
so our bass player is like, hey, man, he finally cracks. He's like, hey, dude, like, your dog's kind of getting crazy. Get him away from there. And the guy is starting to threaten us with his dog. And so I stepped up. I'm like, fuck this guy. I'm like, dude, like, fuck you, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, put your dog away. Let's see how tough you really are, man. Put your fucking dog away. And he's, like, trying to sick his dog on us. And I'm like, man, like, this is, whatever. So that was that gig. That was probably the worst gig I think I've ever played.
This guy's fighting with you guys.
With a pit bull.
And you're, like, having to step up and go,
yeah,
hey, don't, like, you want to fight? Like, we'll fight right now.
Yeah,
but you and me.
Put your dog away,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's such a...
Yeah. Mind you, it was, like, 2 hours away, too. And then Bumblefuck, Connecticut. So
yeah,
we
and
were
BFE, and you're like... Yeah.
So that was probably the worst gig we've ever played. It was a huge letdown. We played a hell of a show, mind you. Like, we played really well.
You go. What was the band called?
Disable Time.
Disabled Time?
No, disable. Like, do
disable
it.
to do it, not past tense.
Yeah, not past tense.
No shit.
Yeah. That was a fun band.
How old are you?
I think that I was in that band from like 16, had a bunch of different members till I was like 21, 22.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Good way to cut your teeth. Play a gig like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've all been there. Yeah.
I mean, there's also gigs where like your shit fails and you're like, fuck, no one has a backup amp. Okay, well, I guess I can't play the show. But that was like the worst. I think that was the worst gig I think I've ever played. Yeah. Other than the Viper Room.
Other than that, them
that
bones.
one time, them bones.
If you get a chance, check out that clip. I'm going to put that as a clip. Oh, my God. Kev and I played a song together, which until just now, I didn't realize that we were on that song together.
Yeah.
That for some of you who don't know, so Eric Himmel runs the Sunset Jam at the Viper Room, and he puts people together to play on songs, and usually we don't meet or get to talk ahead of time. You just kind of have to like have your shit together and be a professional. Mm-hmm. And we played Them Bones with somebody who clearly was not a drummer and just butchered the whole thing. And it was like we were in the middle of sea trying to swim to shore, and somebody just threw a barrel loaded full of lead at us.
Yeah.
Going, Try it now, motherfucker.
Yep,
Like
yep.
it was so fucking. I mean, we all have that. You all have to go through bad gigs and
Right.
bad situations to get to good gigs, and especially you got set up with this like expectation of, oh, this is gonna be awesome.
Yep.
We made it. We got 1,000 people. We're gonna make some money. People are gonna love us.
For sure.
And then some guy with a pit bull wants to fight you
I know. Like, dude.
with his pit bull.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just crazy.
I've had so many incidences like that where, especially with living out here, and you go to the Midwest or whatever like that, and people think like, "Well, you think you're fucking better than me? You think you're better than me,
Yeah.
Mr. fucking Hollywood?
I got something for you, boy.
I'll fight you right now. You
Yep.
think you're from Hollywood and you can get you better than me, Mr. Good Looking with your fucking all your teeth, all of them. You got all your teeth. I'll knock
Couple
some.
of
Yeah.
receipts,
that-
sonny boy.
I'll
So
yeah,
I said he is. I said, hey, where's the paper boy at, sonny?
and you're just like, dude,
I
like,
know.
yeah. Oh my God, I've had so many incidences like that where you're just like, I'm trying to just keep afloat, just like the rest of y'all, and I still say y'all, but like,
Y'all is it's like that's a
is
thing
that
to
it?
say.
Is that
I think it's an international thing now.
is it? It? Yeah.
The South
y'all.
was like, we're
Y'all.
gonna say this, and people were like, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll say it too, but not like that.
Yeah, my
You know?
favorite is nah mean. You ever hear that?
Nah, I mean,
Nah mean. You
nah, I
know?
mean,
Do you know what I mean? Nah mean.
or finna.
What's
I'm
finna?
a finna do this.
Wait, say that again.
I'm a finna do this.
I'm fixing to do this.
No, finna.
I'm finna to do
Like
this.
I'm going to do
I'm
this.
going to
but
do
they're
this.
Like, yeah, I'm a finna do a show later tonight. You're like,
It makes me think I'm
What?
fixing. I'm getting ready. I'm
Yeah,
going
you
to.
never
like-
heard that?
No, I never heard. I'm finna. To,
slang.
that's.
Yeah.
Is that from like East Coast?
Hashtag 2019.
Yeah, finna to do this.
Finna.
I'm finna to do this.
Finna about to do a.
I'm finna about to-
Finna
I'm
about to
gonna-
do a podcast.
Yeah, I'm finna about to do it. Yeah. Is it an
Yeah.
Italian thing? Or is
No,
it like
no,
it's
that's-
just like, well, when I first moved out here, I kept hearing hella, and
Oh, yeah.
and then all of a sudden in my vernacular, I was like, wait, how do I describe things? Because everything started to becoming, oh, this is fucking hella dope. This is hella good. This is hella. Yeah, it's
Or
like
bro too. Bro is a big thing out
bro, dog, yo,
Yep.
dude, that kind of a type of thing.
here. Like in the East Coast, when you say bro, you're more like, oh, bro, like dude's a bro, fucking lacrosse bro. But out here,
oh,
it's
he's
like,
a bro.
hey bro,
Yeah.
hey bro. I was like, everybody says
Does
bro.
this guy
out
want to
here.
fight me?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
it's good, bro.
I felt that way when I met a lot of different ethnicities. Was when they would say my friend. I felt like they were fucking me over. They'd be
Mm.
like, my friend, I give this no deal for, like it has that sound to it.
Yeah.
And then I learned from somebody from like other cultures and other languages, whether they be like Jewish or like like Pakistan or Israel or whatever like that. That's what they say for
like dude. Or,
dude or bro. They say
Yeah.
my friend in their language and they translate it to English. So they go, my friend, I do this. But to me, it sounds like my friend, I fuck you over.
Yeah, my friend, for nobody I do this, but
I
for
but
you,
And
I'll
I
give
go,
you a discount.
And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
bullshit. I'm your friend. Like, I
Can't
don't
trust
know
your friend.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah.
trust it.
You can't. My
It's like
friend.
when someone calls you bud or chief.
I hate that.
Oh, dude.
Boss.
Boss.
Hey, what can I do for you, boss?
Hey,
And I'm like,
boss.
give me another employee. I
Yeah.
want somebody else
Where
right
do
now.
you get off?
If you work at a retail store or you work at Starbucks and you're a guy and you're my age and you look like me or you look like you're an Abercrombie and Fitch or you're like, hey man, and they usually have like a voice like this where they talk like super tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
What's up,
hey,
boss?
they're like, hey bro, what can I
Yeah.
get you? Hey chief, how's it going? Hey,
Yeah.
you like it like that? Yeah, I got you, chief, bro.
Hey, buddy.
And they're you're condescending. Knock it
Yeah.
off. It's not fun.
You're a douche.
I hate it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
absolutely I hate that voice that like so yeah. Bro, what can I get you? What do you want? Like a mocha frap latte coffee? Yeah, bro, chief, I got
Alright,
it. Hey,
chief.
let's get one for this guy.
Hey, boss, guys needs a frat. This guy
Yeah.
needs a frat. Get
I
to him.
hate that
Yeah,
so
fuck
much.
that.
Don't call anybody chief, bro, boss, or whatever like that. If you're
Yep.
older than me, you're allowed to say sport or what kiddo.
Kiddo would be like a little crossing the line. I think it'd be like,
If they're older than you,
kiddo,
is that okay?
do I look like a fucking kid to you?
But don't you think it would make you feel good now?
No.
No?
Kiddo?
If an
No.
old guy at Starbucks said, what can I get for you, kiddo?
I'd be like, if a guy at Starbucks sent me that, I probably wouldn't say nothing. But
Would you get offended
If-
internally?
yes, I'd be like,
Really?
"Dude, you just call me kiddo?
Really?
Yeah.
No, would it make you feel good?
No.
I think I'd feel good.
Nah, I'd be like, dude.
No.
Call me like man or dude.
Sir.
I think even an older person would appreciate. Like if you're like, hey man, if
Really?
you're like 70 years old.
You got that East Coast attitude.
Dude.
You just call me fucking kiddo?
Yeah.
You
for
have
sure.
that for sure. You totally have it. I think I've been here long enough. I would like, oh thanks, like or something soft and nice like that.
I feel you.
They'd make you feel
Yeah.
like you wanted. There's a lady at a Starbucks I go to all the time, and she says it throws me off because she's a like a white chick. She's not a white chick, but like she's like a white chick. Let's put it that way. And she throws me off every time. And I know you're being nice. I don't know how you grew up. I'm sorry, but I go in, and now because it's COVID-19, it's a Starbucks right around the corner, so I can't go in, but I can go to the front door, and they open the door.
Nice.
And then and she goes, what's the name? Like, what do you want? And I go, oh, Michael O'Grady. Can I get a cold brew venti? Like,
You get
that's
the
what
last name. There you
yeah,
go.
yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. Or I'll say, well, it's Michael. It shows up, and I order like the drink, and then I get it, and then she comes back, and here's the weird dance I do with the Starbucks now is that they go and get my drink, and then they come back, they give me my drink, and then I go, can I get a straw? Because I'll always get my coffee with a straw. I might get my iced coffee or my cold brew with a straw.
I was going to say hot coffee with a straw?
No, cold brew with a straw. I have a theory about that, how I try to keep my teeth nice, is that if I don't drink it with a straw, the liquid is hitting the front of my teeth. But if I have a straw, it's bypassing the front of my teeth.
Okay. So,
That's my theory. I don't know if I'm right on that to keep my teeth
Straw
nice.
equals less trips to the dentist.
That's my theory.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
I got you.
bypassing the front of the teeth. If I don't drink with a straw, it hits my teeth direct.
Nice.
I could be wrong.
Life hack. Use a straw.
Yeah, I don't read. I don't write. Don't follow me. Follow someone else. But she gets me the thing, and then I go, oh, can I get a straw? And then she goes, and then I go, oh, thank you so much. She brings back the straw. So they always have to make 2 trips. They always have to make 2 trips with me. Nobody ever thinks to get the straw first, because now, before the COVID-19, straws were the big thing.
Paper straw.
Paper straws, oh my God.
Giving you a paper straw in a plastic cup.
Oh, the straw. It was such a huge deal.
Yeah.
She comes back and she goes, I go, thank you. And she goes, you're very welcome, my friend.
Ooh.
She says, my friend. Not in an accent. She says, you're my friend. And I go, I don't know how to answer you like a normal person right now. It's a weird.
It's different when it's with service, right? So
Yeah.
if a guy in service is saying like, or a woman, whatever, just a
Yeah.
person in service, they're like, hey bud, hey boss.
That's well,
It's
Bud's okay. Boss, I don't like.
Bud
Wait.
is like pushing it, dude.
It's pushing it a
Hey
little.
bud.
Hey, Bud.
Hey bud. I'm
Wait,
who's
who's saying Bud to you? That's the difference.
True, but well,
If it's so, if it's an older guy.
it doesn't matter. I get young people saying bud, like people
well,
my
that's
age,
what I'm
even
saying.
people younger than me.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So if it's an old guy and he says Bud, I say
Not about
fine.
it.
If it's a guy our age and he says Bud, I go, what the fuck's your problem with me?
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
I feel you.
You're either way.
I think when anybody calls me bud, if I'm not under 10 years old and you call me fucking bud, are you kidding me, dude? Come on.
No.
How do y'all feel about that?
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I don't know. To me, I think if it's an older guy and he goes like, "What can I get you, bud?" and if it's just his vernacular, I kind of let it slide. I don't think anything of it.
For sure.
But if it's a guy our age and he's like, or younger, and he goes, "Bud," I'm like, "You think you're cooler than me?"
But put yourself at a party or put yourself in a social situation.
Okay, that's different.
Not being served.
Right.
What can I get? Or just like, hey, bud, my name is this. Excuse me? What did you just say? It's like,
no, I think that's fine. If they're just talking.
Man, I don't know.
Or if they're just gonna go, "Hey, what can I get you, Chief?"
No, they're not serving you. They're not serving you.
No. But you're at a party. You're at a social situation.
Oh, if they say chief, dude, what?
If you don't know him, I think it's bullshit. If I don't know you and you say that to me right off the bat, I go, something's up. You're acting like a tough guy. You're acting like you're better than me.
Right,
I get defensive.
Right.
But, and again, this depends on the person. Let's say if this is how you were as a person and you know me, I know you, and you go, "Hey, I'm going to get some beer. Do you want anything, Chief?" And you say it to me, I think I'd be okay with it.
Well, yeah, I would.
Because I know you. Yeah. I think I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
If you gave me a nickname, I know you. But if I didn't know you, then I think there's a problem. But that's just me.
I feel you.
But you're like, no matter what.
Well, I wouldn't call you chief.
You wouldn't do that. No.
But I agree with you.
But if somebody, so somebody else does it.
If a buddy of mine says,
Okay,
hey,
it's a buddy of yours.
If a buddy, I'm cool with that. It's like, yeah, this is a buddy of mine. But if someone says, "Hey, bud,"
And you don't know each other.
Yeah, and I don't know each other.
Oh, that's the difference.
It just seems like you're talking down to me.
Yeah,
Or
that's
like,
what I feel.
I'm trying to
I don't know you.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, chief. Hey, boss. What's up, boss?
Fuck that.
What's up, boss? Am I the boss to you now? Okay,
I
I'll
don't-
take
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because it's this weird, I'm giving you this title of you're the best, you're the awesome, but you're really not.
Right. You're actually a piece of shit.
You're
This is
actually a
my
piece
party.
of shit.
Go
yeah.
fuck yourself.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's the difference right there, ladies and gentlemen. If you know somebody,
Yeah.
and I just say, hey, bro, or hey, man, can I get you something?
Man
hey,
is
dude.
always that's always cool.
Can I just get you something? And
Yeah.
we're hanging out. If I don't know you, I will still do the same thing, so I'm respectful.
Yeah.
I will not cross that line of saying boss, chief, bro, or boss, chief,
Bud.
sport.
Sport.
Who the fuck says sport anymore?
Hey, sport.
No, but I don't think I would say sport. Yeah, but yeah, I think it depends on how. I think that's what we're saying here is
Yeah.
it depends on how well you know a person
For sure.
to kind of go, okay, I can say this. I
Yeah.
can say it like this. But some guys are fucking bros, and they
What's
fuck.
up?
Hey, chief, boss, man, can I get you something or whatever?
Yo, chief, you drinking a fucking Miller Lite, chief?
Yeah, and you're just
It's
like,
what, dude?
yeah, and people will fucking do that in all kind of social situations
Yeah.
from now until the end of time.
But man, dude.
Man,
cool.
dude.
Man, dude. What's up,
Hey,
man, dude?
What's up, man,
Yeah,
dude?
what's
Hey,
up,
bro.
man,
Yeah,
dude?
man. What's up, bro? Siv name. I'm leaving
Yeah.
all the nicknames in the
I
world.
feel you.
Yeah, I think it depends on how well you know a person. That's like
Sure.
the kind of the line on that. But
And that's our segment on slang.
that's our segment on American slang. If
That's
you
how
want
you
to
address people.
Yeah. But I think it goes back to like the other thing about it is it depends on how you grew up and how tough you grew up. And granted, I'm not a tough guy. Obviously, by looking at me, you're like, yeah, I know. But I grew up in this very like, I'll give you a for instance. This bothers me to this day. You ever get like a splinter in your mind where like no matter what you try to do throughout life, you can't get rid of the thought that anytime you try to do said action, it's just always in there. For me, it's whenever I order a coffee that is not black. And here's why.
This is interesting.
I have such a hard time ordering a beverage that it's a coffee, and if I put cream or sugar or sprinkles or it's the Mocha frappe or it's the in my head what goes off is, what are you, a fucking pussy? Like, what's what, you soft little, oh, you need your little like it go because of my brother and my dad, where I grew up and they would order black coffee.
Boom. Black.
Hot Topic metal.
Yeah.
We have no soul. We're fucking tough. We order black coffee. And to this day, when I get in that mood of I'm going to order the super sugary swirl cinnamon sprinkle love candy cookie coffee, it goes off in my head.
I'm
and
sorry.
I'm
Did you want balls with that too?
yeah, exactly.
Did you
That's
want
what it is.
testicles with that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, yeah. We don't have that in hetero, so sorry. Yeah, and it goes off in my head, and I know it's silly and it's ridiculous, but like for instance, when I went to Starbucks one time, most of the time I'll get a cold brew black. I drink solid like that. Every now and again, I'll get something that's like the caramel macchiato, whatever. Even then, it makes me feel. I hate ordering
You're
it.
like,
I hate. Is anybody looking?
hey, dude, could I get a macchiato?
You say you're like, can I get the caramel macchiato, please?
Oh,
And
macchiato.
Yeah, dude, I swear to God, the first time I ordered a drink like that, it popped up. I went to Starbucks. I went to get the black coffee, but right there on the on the screen was this cocoa mocha frappuccino. What was it called? Like parfait spring. Oh no, you know what it was? It was Drizzle, Razzle, Dazzle. That was the name of it.
Nice.
Those words, which made me just feel like, but it looked good.
Oh, there you go.
So I go up and I order, and I go, can I get a venti Drizzle, Frazzle, Macchiato, Razzle Dazzle? And they go, okay, that'll be $4.25. and I give him my card, and I do it, and I go, and I feel this heat. I feel this weird heat. And again, this is the way I grew up, where they would all make fun of you.
Yeah, right.
You know?
That's the type of thing you got to pay cash for.
Yeah.
No card.
No. I don't want
wanna
anybody
trace
looking
it.
up on my Chase bank
You're
account
not
like,
tracing
you
that.
order the Drizzle, Razzle, Dazzle.
Yeah.
And I go over to our bullpen waiting line for Starbucks, as you do. And I'm waiting. And all of a sudden I hear this employee go, "Who ordered the Drizzle, Mocha, Razzle, Dazzle?" And I was like, fuck. And I was like, I did. And he goes, "Do you want the sprinkles on it?" "You do, don't you? You need it, don't it?" Like,
Chief,
Chief,
sprinkles on that?
he said it to everybody.
Oh, man.
And like fucking hot blondes are looking at me like, okay,
he's cute until
somebody
the
needs,
Dazzle.
yeah, like somebody needs a. It's like, "Do you want a cookie?" That kind. And I felt so much shame because he just like, oh, it was the weirdest fucking thing ever, and I hated it. I
feel
hated
you.
that feeling, even though I think maybe it's only to us.
Yeah.
Nobody else cares. But like I grew up with like my older brother going like, "Just get a black coffee, motherfucker. What the fuck? You need a hug?" Like that kind of a
From
type
here
of,
on out, you're just like, just give me the beans.
yeah.
Just give me the beans. I'm going
I'll
to chew on them.
I'm gonna chew on them. I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
bite
chew the
them
fucking
with a
beans.
bullet. You know,
Are
yeah.
you getting a black coffee, little bitch? Give me the beans, dude. Let's go.
It's a hard thing to
Yeah.
order. A
Yeah.
fruity drink, anything that makes you feel good, that kind of a type of thing. Yeah, I had a hard time ordering the Mocha, Razzle, Dazzle, Drizzle chocolate syrup.
Sounds good, though.
It is good. It's fucking delicious. Yeah.
Makes
So if anybody out there ever wants to give me a coupon for Starbucks,
boom.
hit me with that,
Yeah.
because I'll order that every now and again. But I don't want to say it out loud. That's what I like about the mobile app.
Yeah.
They hook it up.
Yeah. They're like, oh, it was you. Okay.
Yeah. You notice that with the automated, I noticed that with the automated voice machine at the grocery stores. Before, it used to say, "Weigh your bananas," or "Weigh your blah, 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 blah."
Now it just says item.
Yeah. Not just this item. Because I think too many people got sick of people hearing what they, do you have that anxiety, that pressure when you're in the line or you're at the grocery store and you're at the register and people see what you're buying? I don't like that.
I mean, I don't personally have a problem with that, but I would understand if someone
I
was
have
like
issues.
buying, like for a woman, I don't know. I mean, if you're buying like tampons or something like that, you don't want the machine to say
Yeah.
tampons.
You know what we used to do?
$6.
Yeah, you don't use place your item
Yeah.
in the. You know what we used to do? We would go into the grocery store. This is a little prank we used to do. This is stupid as fuck. We were dumb. We would buy like condoms and a Playboy magazine and like duct tape and like
Hold on, let me picture this.
yeah,
Condoms,
yeah,
Playboy, duct
tape and
Okay.
like rope or like a bungee cord.
rope. Oh shit!
And latex gloves. We would buy the most. And like you watch the lady ring it up on the register going,
You
and
good?
like eggs, like, and something with just to be like, oh, you're going to have a Friday night. Just to kind of,
yeah,
I grew up in Ohio. There was nothing to do but mess with the lady at the register and have her go, boop,
nice.
boop, what the fuck? Yeah, we used to do that kind of thing.
You had me at rope and condoms. I'm like, okay, something's going on here. I don't
Yeah, a
know.
little bit. Yeah. Well, it would be like you could buy condoms. It would be like,
Condoms is always a weird thing to buy too.
it always is. Yeah. You buy like condoms, a magazine, and then like Tylenol PM, and then see if they have an expression on their face. Like, what are you doing?
I don't think I've ever bought condoms, magazine, and Tylenol. It's gonna be a long fucking night, dude.
Yeah,
you know what
it's
I
just like
mean?
a stupid. Again, I don't condone this. It was like a prank we did back in the day
That's hilarious.
when there's like nothing else to do.
Nice.
That kind of type of thing. Yeah, that's how we fucking.
I went to Costa Rica with my cousin one time. We were 18, and we bought ramen, condoms, and beer. That was it. Expecting we were gonna get laid. And so this one surfer
That's
dude,
all you should buy. Yeah.
right? Going to Costa Rica, but we didn't go to a resort. We were hanging with the locals. His cousin like really lived out there, and so one of his buddies came over, and I'll never forget it. He's like, "Yeah, that's the only thing you need." He was like from Texas. I'm doing a terrible Texas accent, but he was like, "Rubbers, ramen, and beer. That's what you need out here." And we're like, "Fuck yeah!" Met 2 prostitutes. Almost got jumped by like 10 dudes.
Wait, what?
Almost walked home through a crocodile-infested river. It was fucking nuts, dude.
Wait, hold on. We need to hear the whole story
Let's
of
go
this.
Rica.
You can't fucking just say You can't start a story and be like, there's crocodiles and prostitutes, and then be
Yeah.
like, that's for another time.
Yeah. So
Do we got time for this? Can you tell this story?
I can
Let
tell
me
this
ask.
in a nutshell.
Well, I mean, we got time. Are you allowed to tell the whole story?
I can.
Do it.
Okay.
I want to hear it.
All
All right,
right,
hold
so-
on. Can it get posted online?
Of course.
Oh, then there you go. Here
I'll
we
tell
go.
the story. If you get me drinking, I'll tell the story. It's
All
a
right,
funny story.
I need to hear this whole
Me
story.
and my cousin, we do the fucking. He's also he is my fucking best friend, my brother. But we do the dumbest shit. But we went to Costa Rica together, mind you. He's 2 years younger than me, and Costa Rica, I think, is 18. You can go out and drink,
Oh, okay.
so you can go out to bars and whatnot. So we were in Playa Grande, Costa Rica.
Okay.
And so one night we're like Tamarindo. That's the party. Like if you're like college life, you go to Tamarindo, Costa Rica.
Right. Okay.
And there's a couple of towns over. So what do? We rent a dirt bike. I don't know how to ride a dirt bike. My cousin kind of knows how to ride a dirt bike. He's like, dude, just hop on. I'm like, dude, I'm not hopping the back of your bike.
Right. You don't fit that. It's
Yeah.
it's the chocolate drizzle razzle dazzle
Yeah,
drink.
I'm
Yeah.
like, no,
I'm not
fuck
sitting
that.
behind you. Yeah.
So I did it. And so it's like a 20-mile fucking ride. And mind you, we're just like, okay, we rented this bike from some local shop. It's a fucking dirt bike or, whatever. So we get there. We're expecting, bring a bunch of condoms, a lot of fucking beer, dude. We're like, yes.
And the ramen.
No, we didn't bring the ramen.
Oh, not
we
yet.
didn't bring
Oh, yeah,
anything
okay.
to eat, dude. Nothing. And so we get there. We get to Tamarindo. We're staying in a hostel. We meet these two girls from South Africa, like smoking hot chicks from South Africa, blue
What
eyes, blonde girls.
Got
like,
it. Okay.
dude. We're like, hell yeah,
Blonde hair, blue eyes, but with the accent.
right,
Right.
total accent, like,
Right.
hello,
Yeah.
how are you today?
Hi,
You gonna
yeah.
go surfing today? Yeah, all right,
It's like borderline Australian, but I'll
yeah,
pass
something.
It.
You know,
Yeah. It's a
you-
hard one to do.
You always get
It's a
that
hard-
mixed up.
That's
you
a
know?
hard African accent is a hard one to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking to these girls. We're in the hostel. There's a pool in the hostel, and we're like, okay, yeah, that's cool. I play guitar, and they're like, oh, cool. Haven't heard of you? And I'm like, I don't know. Have you? Name dropping. Here we go. But anyway, so we're like, okay, cool. Like, let's go take a shower. Not together, but it'll be dope. But
Let's
we didn't do it.
reconvene.
Yeah, we'll go shower up, and then we'll go out tonight together.
Oh,
Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Sweet. We both speaking. There's 4 of us now. Me, my buddy, and
And
two
you're how
girls.
old?
I'm 19, or
He's-
I'm 20. He's 18.
18. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay.
So we go out, go to this bar, local bar in Tamarindo, Costa Rica, and there's a dance floor. There's a bunch of people there, and we're dancing with these girls, and then they just bounce. We go to get them drinks, and they like dipped out, and they're with like the local guys. We're like, oh, what the fuck, And so they dipped out for these local dudes, and then this one dude, he flipped us off, and so me and my
The guy that was with them.
yeah, he's
now,
like a local Costa Rican local
that they're talking to.
yeah, and he's got his posse. He's with like 10 dudes deep. So he flipped us off, and so my cousin, he's kind of got a hot head. He flipped them back, He's like, yeah, fuck you, and whatever. So we meet these 2 prostitutes at the bar, and I knew they were prostitutes because she ordered a fucking Bailey's. Who orders a Bailey's? I was like, okay, I don't know what that is. I was like, what the fuck is a Bailey's?
So you bail on the chicks originally.
bail on the chicks.
Now you meet 2 new
Yeah.
girls who end up being.
Prostitutes.
Do you know this at the time?
No.
No.
The reason I found out is because I was like, I was talking to her, and I'm like, let's go dance or something. She's like, no, I can't. I'm like, what do you mean you can't? She points at a camera at the bar, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I told my
What?
cousin, yeah. I told my cousin, I'm like, dude, like, she won't dance with me because there's a camera. And he's like, yo, I think they're prostitutes, man. I'm like,
Get
"Are
like
you
they
serious?"
work for the bar.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out
Yeah.
of here.
Next thing you know, him and I are conversing. Next thing you know, the dude who flipped us off and like 10 or 15 other dudes surround us. And I'm like, yo, we could take them. Fuck this. I'm like, fuck it, dude. He's like, yo, are you kidding me? No, fuck that. I'm like, man, we're both hammered. Like, fuck it.
I can do this.
And so I don't speak a lick of Spanish. My girlfriend's Mexican. Like, I'm starting to now kind of dive into like, speaking a little Spanish. But at the time, I know like, hola, no problemo. So I'm telling this dude, I'm telling all these guys, no problemo, no problemo. They're fucking poking me in the shoulder. I'm poking them back. And I'm like, look, dude.
No
like,
problem.
Yeah. Like, it was crazy, dude. And they finally like, all right, you got to get the fuck out of here. So we're like, okay, well, our hostel's like a cab drive away. It's the middle of the night. So now I'm thinking, dude, you know what? Fuck it. We came here with nothing. We didn't bring a change of clothes or anything. We don't even need to go back to the hostel. Let's just walk back to our place 20 miles deep to your cousin's house. And he's like, dude, there's a crocodile infested river we'd have to cross. I'm like, yeah, but like, fuck it, we'll just run, dude. He's like, no, man, we can't do that. So long story short, to end it, we were walking home. We carried like rocks and sticks with us. It was super sketchy. Some prostitutes were like grabbing our junk on the way home.
You're walking down like a main road. People are there.
Yeah, walking down alleyways too.
Oh,
getting crazy because we got lost for a second.
What's this crocodile infested water you got to go through?
That was like a little outside of town because you had to take a boat to get into Tamarindo. So you put your motorcycle on a boat and then it crosses. It was like a 2-second cross.
But still.
How
did you get back though?
Oh, the next day, yeah, we've been back to the hostel, and then the next day we like took the ferry, little ferry. It was like a fucking canoe, literally like a swim and a half away. And so, yeah, that's how we got back.
No shit.
But that was one of the fucking craziest nights, dude. Because those motherfuckers don't fuck around. If you get in a fight in a different country, like, you don't know who
fuck
you're
you
fucking
up.
with.
They don't give a fuck. And you're going, no problemo. And they're like, this motherfucker.
Fucking Connecticut, dude.
This fucking white kid.
Exactly.
Oh, my God. That's so funny. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh, my God.
That's a time.
I just love the fact that there's a camera there and she's like, I'm working. No, that ain't happening. Yep. Dude, I think we could probably wrap it up there. I think we covered enough ground. That was a fucking great story to end with. Oh, my God. You're just like sweating bullets. You're like, here we go. Like, we're going to make it. No, Kev, man, dude, thank you so much for coming down here.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, of course, absolutely. I thought it was a great time to like sit down and talk with you. I can't believe how serendipitous it is that we were on Them Bones together, that shitty performance that happened.
You're like somewhat in the song now.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, a little bit.
The next single, like you are in that. You're part of that.
How the fuck did that happen? Whatever. We went through that. Yeah. We cut our teeth together with that shitty fucking experience. And, you know, for anybody listening out there, if you've checked this out, again, I want to say thank you so much for watching the videos, listening to the podcasts. Again, it's called Michael O'Grady and the Creatives. It's on Apple Podcasts right now. So if you go to your app on your phone, you can download these episodes. You can listen to them. You can rate them. Give us a 5-star rating. Write a review and be like, hey, these guys are fucking awesome. They're sexy. They're whatever. Like, blah, blah, blah. Especially if you're from Brazil, whatever like that. And if you get a chance, check out Mechanical Roots. They have a new single out called Broken Record. And let me ask this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Is this about a chick?
No.
Who's it about?
It's about addiction.
It's about addiction. It's a broken record. Is it like on loop, on repeat? Problem?
It's about...
What's the metaphor?
Basically growing up around addiction and having someone else tell you, I'm going to stop, and they don't. You keep hearing it over and over again.
The same thing. Broken record.
Like a broken record.
No shit.
So...
I won't ask you to give away too much about that.
Yeah.
Because you did a great job with, again, if you get a chance, check out this song. It's really well written.
Thank you.
It's straight to the point. It's a catchy fucking melody. And the words are pretty personal, but they're also very universal. So if you don't have that same experience that you had.
It's whatever you want it to be.
Exactly.
It's whatever you want it to be.
I think that's the secret to great songwriting. Yeah. People are going to interpret it. Check out Mechanical Roots. Check out the new single called Broken Record. Soon coming up is the new single called...
Out of Sight, Out of Mind.
Out of Sight, Out of Mind. Any idea when that's going to happen?
We were working on it. Might have a meeting tomorrow about it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Zoom meetings.
Figure it out. Yeah.
But
I like to piggyback on what Brian said there.
Yeah.
I think we need to move forward and we need to make people feel connected even though we're distant.
Yes, kind of exactly. So we're trying to figure that out. We're trying to figure out the next move and kind of video for that. But also to all musicians, Joe Rogan just changed the game forever for
Spotify.
Streaming in Spotify.
Yeah, he's getting off YouTube.
Dude.
What I heard is the clips will still be on YouTube, but the main episodes won't. That's what I heard.
Okay.
Clips will be on, but the main episodes will be on Spotify. And I think it had to do with censorship and the money offer that they were able to kind of...
$100 million or something like that?
It's not like they wrote him a check for $100 million.
Yeah, he's going to make that over the course of his contract.
Sort of, yeah. It's like a lot of... But I'm sure he knows like what he's doing.
But what he just did was he created the... like, for instance, you can't watch certain TV shows unless you have Netflix. So you can only listen to Joe Rogan. So to put that towards music, which is one of the things I wanted to get into was... I know. Next time.
All right, sorry.
But one of the things, before we go, he just changed the music game because one of your favorite artists, let's just say Guns N' Roses, for instance, will only be available exclusively on Spotify.
Oh, is that going to be the same with Rogan?
Yeah. You cannot listen to Joe Rogan unless you listen to him on Spotify.
No shit.
They just changed the game. Game over.
That's going to happen in September.
Oh, yeah. It's going to happen.
Fuck.
Pandora's going to say, we
wait.
own the 1975. Boom. 1975. You can only listen to them if you listen to Pandora.
Not even on YouTube or whatever?
Nope.
Not even on iTunes?
Nope.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's what's going to happen.
That's how they're doing.
They're going to bypass the major labels.
And
the major streaming platforms are going to cut them a deal.
Do you have more to talk about this?
I do.
1 second.
Congratulations. You have now made it to the end of part 2. Would you like a cookie?
Michael O'Grady, i creativi.